left side's got a hole. 25, 20, he may go. Touchdown, John Paul Head on Lockhart for the touchdown. Very easy jaunt.
It's either going to be Joker, missile, block.
Oh, there's a block kick there. Rose, the backup linebacker, came in there and engulfed that punt. As he takes it inside, touchdown. Shane Dotson on the run, throws it, picked up. Grant Downey has the pick.
It's Kaylee Rickard.
We want to finish the game.
It drops over the middle. Smith, a touchdown. Turner drops, pops, got a man. Johnson, touchdown. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
One, two, three. You know, regardless, we got to continue to get better. I like the way we came out and attacked tonight and took the ball and scored early and kind of put the pedal to the metal.
And win. I know you may not have been concerned, but I had some thoughts about after playing so well against Spain Park, having an off week, very brisk practices. You always wonder, right?
Yeah.
How you're going to do when you come back. And questions were answered pretty quick.
Yeah, we played well. We got the ball and went right down the field and was worried a little bit with all the homecoming distractions, how we would play. I felt like as the game wore on that we would be fine, but it's always good to start off, and 6 minutes in the game we're up 21-0 and kind of off to the races, and couldn't have scripted a better opening to that game.
So over 600 or close to 650 yards rushing the last two games with a week off in between, holding your opponents to under 100. The line of scrimmage has just been red and blue the last couple of weeks.
Right, and that's what travels. And when you have to win big games in wind and rain and cold weather, and ultimately we're getting to the part of the year where it's cold. It's going to be cold weather games, and so the things that are going to travel in those type of environments are pace and power, being able to throw on the perimeter and throwing the ball down the field. So all the 7-on-7 stuff is great for the summer, but ultimately people that win games this time of year or when the playoffs start are teams that can run the ball and stop the run.
71 snaps. You had, I think, 73, if I remember correctly, against Spain Park. So that's getting close to that number you want. And everything's just.
Well, yeah, and truth be told, we bled the clock in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
we could have been in the 80s, we think, and so we were able to get off the field and, for the most part, defensively, and gave our offense ample opportunity to do what they do best. And so we've been able to play with the pace we wanted to, and that was really a focal point of the off week was playing faster and cleaner than we had been. So it was nice to see that show up when games actually matter.
And I was going to bring up the defense after I got to talk about the offense because they've given up 7 and 10. So it's been hard to find things, maybe penalties if you want to really focus in on something. But other than that, it's been hard to find things going wrong.
Well, and part of it too is Chelsea and Spain Park, with all due respect, those are not two of the better offenses we'll face.
Right.
So, but we played well against Hoover. We played well in spurts for at least for a half against Thompson. So, but this week will be a step up and challenge, obviously, and we'll need to play well on both sides to have a chance to win.
So Andrew Sykes had a great game 2 weeks ago. Ross has been really good the last 2 or 3 weeks. It seems the defensive line.
Yeah.
Am I wrong on that?
It's kind of a strength. It's a strength for us. We have obviously, Sykes and Wisenhunt, and then Watson and Jordan Ross. There's not really a weak link there, and so those 4 guys have been very steady for us this year. And then we've got experience in the linebacking corps too. 3 seniors, and then our 2 safety seniors have both played well, and then Cole and Nelson and Downey have both played well in corner. So we've got an experienced bunch that's played a lot of good football, and that's about all you can ask for this time of year.
52-10, again, the win over Chelsea. Just kind of shell-shocked. I'm throwing knockout punches very early. anything happen with homecoming your first year? Any stories? Anybody?
No, not really. Outside of a pretty wild pep rally, and that's
those are always wild.
They were. It's some very out of the box dance contests and things of those nature. But regardless, no, there wasn't a whole lot, and the focus was on the game, and that's where it needed to be for us. That was our part in the homecoming festivities, and our guys handled business.
So before we go to break, you win like this the last 2 weeks again with that off week. Things should be rolling well. Confidence levels should be high. How do you keep that high, balancing them with what you just talked about, that Trussville's really good?
Yeah, Trussville is good. I think our guys are smart kids. Like, they understand there's a difference between, Tim's building a program at Spain Park from where they are. Coach Floyd's been there for 8 years, and they're perennially in the top 5, and really the last 4 or 5 years have been in the top 100 preseason in the country.
Wow.
So people have a lot of respect for their program around the Southeast and even nationally, and they always have good players. Their SEC is littered with some of their former players. So we know we're going to face a talented team whose systems have been in place for 8 years now, and we'll have to be solid in all 3 phases to have a chance.
And they need a win like we do.
No question.
So, I mean, that sets the stage. Right
yeah,
there.
very similar.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back with more. We'll have the first half highlights coming for you. Again, live from Moe's Original Barbecue off Rocky Ridge Road. Head coach Robert Evans, Scott Griffin here. Thanks for watching. We'll be back in a moment.
Dr. Melanie Petro has a simple philosophy.
I love to see them look in the mirror and see themselves several years ago. It reconnects them with who they are.
Dr. Petro is double board certified and fellowship trained to help you see you again.
When you see yourself again, all of a sudden you're not just reconnected with your face, you're reconnected with yourself, and it gives you a confidence.
When the on-time service technician arrives in your home, you give us an amazing opportunity. The opportunity to earn your trust, to arrive at your home on time, to fix the problem in your home, and to never sell you something you don't need. When the job is done and the technician leaves, I want you to be really pleased with the work. And I want something more. I want you to say to yourself, I trust that guy.
Lifeline's ministry is necessary because God has ultimately called the body of Christ to manifest the gospel to vulnerable children. We see it beginning in the Old Testament in the Pentateuch. God continues to renew that call over and over and over again to the people. Lifeline, in its role, comes alongside the church with that very narrow specialization to allow the church to live out the mission that the church has been given to proclaim the gospel through orphan care.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Moe's Original Barbecue, the Vestavia Hills Athletics Coaches Show. Robert Evans, Scott Griffin here. Great first half. Don't blink, you might miss something. So let's take a look at the first half highlights. Again, the first 3 possessions that Vestavia really scored touchdowns on. So we take a look here. Team running out in the beautiful blue and gray and red. What we got here? John Paul Head starting with some running.
Yeah, we got backed up with a penalty. Had the power read play call. Then we had to cut what we called what I call wrong way, where he's got a dual read and reading the inside linebacker, and he flowed with Tonsmeyer, and John Paul kept it and then made a nice run to get in the end zone. Started off really well, started off with a 3 and out, and Jordan making a play in the backfield, which is kind of what he specializes in doing, got the ball back to our offense, and Jack Lockhart, who had probably his best game, was able to walk in, had good blocking, well-schemed play, well-blocked play, and walked in untouched. Good.
And there's Sykes.
Yeah, great play by Sykes.
Yeah.
Andrew had a fantastic game, and he's been solid all year. And then Chase Rose, who's a senior linebacker, able to
engulf
block the punt. Coach Brown schemed it up well, and Spence Hanna, sophomore, who's going to be a good player for us, was able to score. Emerson Russell.
Good player.
Yeah, very good player. Very, very tough back. We had probably a bad call. Good play by Sam Hansen. In the backfield, forced them to kick a field goal, and I think it's 21-3 maybe when the first and Sykes actually got a hand on that.
Yep.
But when the first quarter ended,
they did not have many plays like that, but Vestavia had a lot of plays like this.
Yes, Tonsmeyer's picked up steam as the season's gone on. You know, just sophomore, and you know, is getting more comfortable. Has a lot of game experience now, and
he's just cagey, isn't he? I mean, he just finds a hole and always falls forward, even though he's not a big guy.
It was a scary moment. He kind of got landed on right there and had a neck strain or a back strain.
Yeah.
But he's fine, and he's going to play this week. And
okay, good.
John Paul finished it off right there with a nice run, and felt good about kind of where we were.
Oh, boy, he got hit there, and that's the big interception by Gaines Johnson.
Gaines is another senior linebacker. You know, our top 6 guys, 5 of them are seniors, so we're missing a bunch next year. And then John Paul rips off a nice run and falls forward, as he typically does, on 3rd and 1. Carson Mann's a sophomore, lots of athleticism, and got him involved, and you'll see him featured as the season goes on, and then.
And he's really a running back, right? That you lined up and did some wide receiver stuff with.
He's done a little bit of both. He's kind of a catch-all, so he's played both positions and done both well. And then it was good to see Carter make another field goal this week. He was actually featured in an article over the mountain this week.
Cool.
Yep. And then Downey came up with a big pick. He's got great ball skills, and very obvious just watching him catch the ball that he. Just a natural athlete with the ball. That's why he's our punt returner. And then Luke Turner, it was good to see him come in and make some plays. And
great catch by Tonsmeyer.
Yep, very good play. Heads up play by Luke. And
absolutely.
Then John Paul finishes off the drive as he normally does, and was able to punch it in and got good work in. So 38-3 at half, and really, you know, things went about as well as they could have for us in the first half.
And obviously, homecoming was great. They had the homecoming queen and different things going on. What do you tell a team? You don't want to screw them up, obviously, getting there. But what do you tell a team the last couple of weeks with such a halftime lead playing so well?
Well, we wanted to. We had. I mean, we were up 35-0 against Homewood and did nothing the rest of the game.
Right.
You know, so you said, hey, we need to play a, you know, complete game, and so
finish it, right?
Finish the game the way it should be. And we still stylistically want to play an up tempo even when our backups go in, because that's how we practice. And I want those guys to play like we practice, and we practice up tempo, and I want them to be able to do what they normally do. And we normally don't wait for 2 seconds on the game clock to snap, and normally there's 30 to 32 seconds left, and want them to play that way. And we still wanted to score, because you know, those guys deserve every opportunity to play and put the work in.
And we talked about that on the broadcast at the end, because there were some times you might have gotten animated at the end of the game with it out of reach, and I was trying to tell people there's a standard here that you want to play to regardless of the score.
The issue is if we're not coaching. You know, I mean, that's when, and I tell the guys, if we're not being hard on you and we're not coaching you, then you got a problem.
Yeah.
And so, those are our backups, our twos, and a lot of those twos are going to have to play for us. And Chelsea went right down the field, and it was totally unacceptable. And, you know, we can stand back and let it happen, or you can coach it and try to get them better in the moment, and that's kind of what we were trying to do.
All right, first half highlights. We'll take a break, come back with the second half here. Moe's Original Barbecue off of Rocky Ridge Road. Kids eat free on Tuesday nights when you buy an adult meal. That's why there's a great crowd here tonight. We'll take a break and come back with more. Hang on.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback coming to Birmingham October 28th through 30th and also next spring April 21st through 23rd. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. It's a no-brainer. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you. For more information, go to choosera.org.
I want on-time service to be the home service company you can always trust. That involves every process and every person in our business, starting with me. It means you trust our technician to arrive at your home on time. You trust us to give you the cost of the job in writing before the work begins. And you trust us to fix what's broken. You've given us the opportunity to earn your trust. We could never ask for more than that.
Your future is here at Birmingham Fastener.
Welcome back to Moe's Original Barbecue. Scott Griffin and Coach Robert Evans here. Tuesday nights, kids eat free. Great place to come is Moe's right off Rocky Ridge Road here in Vestavia. Let's take a look at the second half. And like you were saying, unlike Homewood and kind of like Spain Park, you guys really played well and carried over after the intermission.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, obviously, it's never going to be as well as you like it, but you know, I thought we did some good things. Jordan really had a good third quarter, had 2 sacks, and we were able to kind of let him loose on some third down plays. And then you see Houston Owen with a sack.
Yeah.
And really kind of were able to get a little bit creative, and it's a little bit easier to get creative when you got a big lead. And then we ran JP a couple of snaps. You know, you're trying to, it's a fine line between not wanting to get somebody hurt,
right,
kind of kicking yourself, you're up 35, but also still trying to score. And you know, Carson, again, doing some good things as a back. He's a real physical kid and be a good player.
He got
for
some
another 2
reps
years.
when Lockhart went out.
Yes,
obviously
no question.
Yep.
And Tucker with a nice catch. Always glad to see. He does so much of the dirty work. Always glad to see him get the ball. And
he's got 20-plus catches.
Yes, he does. And then JP finds him, again, on our kind of bison concept. And it's a tough route to cover, and that's why we continuously run it 1,000 different ways.
Yep. Defensively, again, everybody talks offense first, but you're a defensive guy, so you notice this stuff. And some of the backups getting in on.
Yeah, I thought
William Douglas, Bond was good.
Yep. Disappointed in that drive, and that's really kind of, you're really nitpicking, but, we made some adjustments with those guys and played kind of a different scheme with those guys to help us out a little bit. But, I thought it was good to see Brady Johnson make some plays and
got him a touchdown.
Very nice ball by the pressing with a guy that probably shouldn't be pressing and kind of daring us to throw it deep with 10 minutes to go in the game. And Luke puts the ball on the money.
I tell you what, and Luke, and there's Littleton obviously getting some playing time. He's even gotten some valuable minutes. But Turner, with 60-plus pass attempts, that's as many as some starters have.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and we feel really good with him if something does ever happen to JP. And there's some times where JP's just winded and tired from long drives, and we put Luke in there and feel really good. But proud of the guys and wanted them to enjoy the weekend, enjoy the homecoming dance, and saw some of their pictures. They clean up well, so parents should be proud.
That's a good thing for sure. So the final 52-10, the big news before we go to break. To me, an even record looks good. I mean, it may be subconscious or something, but going to 3-3 now, 2-2 in the region, obviously it's a win, so that's good anyway. But I like the evenness of that.
Well,
it's a win, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't ever think of stuff like that, but but we still control our destiny, and really, regardless of what happens this week, we control our destiny. So, it's not that we want to be in the big-time environment games and the high-stakes game. This week is a high-stake game, but ultimately, the way that things are shaping out, the Tuscaloosa County game for us and for them is going to be kind of a playoff game. So, it kind of takes some pressure off a little bit, actually, but it's an important game, and we got a chance to play a quality opponent, and we want to put our best foot forward and see what happens Friday night in Trussville.
Absolutely. We'll take another break, come back, wrap it up here from Moe's Original Barbecue, the Vestavia Hills Coaches Show. Come by and see us. Still early enough to come get some dinner here at Moe's Original Barbecue off Rocky Ridge Road.
When you have an appliance problem in your home, call On Time Service. Our appliance technicians will arrive on time in trucks fully stocked with hundreds of replacement parts. From stoves and ovens to washers and dryers to refrigerators and dishwashers, it's appliance repair on time or we pay you $59. And always backed by the On Time Service guarantee. For appliance repair, call the Appliance Pro at On Time Service.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Alabama. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the AHSAA.
Lifeline's ministry is necessary because God has ultimately called the body of Christ to manifest the gospel to vulnerable children. We see it beginning in the Old Testament in the Pentateuch. God continues to renew that call over and over and over again to the people. Lifeline, in its role, comes alongside the church with that very narrow specialization to allow the church to live out the mission that the church has been given to proclaim the gospel through orphan care.
Dr. Melanie Petro has a simple philosophy.
I love to see them look in the mirror and see themselves several years ago. It reconnects them with who they are.
Dr. Petro is double board certified and fellowship trained to help you see you again.
When you see yourself again, all of a sudden you're not just reconnected with your face, you're reconnected with yourself, and it gives you a confidence.
Welcome back to Vestavia Hills Athletics Coaches Show. Scott Griffin, Robert Evans here. The big game coming up Friday night against Hewitt Trussville on the road. A good team, as Robert said, always a perennial playoff team. Josh Floyd's done a great job. He's got a system there. It comes up, I'm sure it's similar thinking to you in middle schools. And guys are used to what they're doing and how they want to play when they're getting there.
They may be the only team in the state that has the ability to play as fast and probably faster than we do.
Yeah.
And they don't do it all the time, but when they want to go fast, they're lightning. And so it's something that we've had to work this week. But the good thing is we see that every day in practice or some version of that. But his son, Peyton, is a really good player and a winner, and you can tell he's a coach's kid. And, when you go against, I hate going against coaches' kids because it means more to them.
Right.
And
they get it, right?
You're going to have to really you're going to have to beat them. It makes sense. He's trying to, his dad leads the program, and
sure,
he's going to do everything in his power. His son played really gutsy last week against Thompson. I really thought they outplayed Thompson on tape, and, had their chances. Had it not been for a pick six, I think they would have won the game, and their playoff picture would look completely different than it does right now. So, really, this is if we can win this game and beat County, we'll be a 3 seed, and they're in a similar boat to us, where they still this is kind of their last tough test in the region, but they're fighting for playoff seeding as well.
So we had talked about Hoover and Thompson were kind of gauge games, right? Where are we? Is this kind of that too now?
Yeah, similar. I mean, and I told the guys this. I mean, when everybody talks about this region, they talk about Hewitt, Hoover, and Thompson. I mean, and
right?
rightfully so after the last 6 or 7 years. And Hewitt's probably put more guys in the SEC in the last 6 or 7 years than Hoover and Thompson combined. They were always talented. The SEC's littered with some of their former guys, and a lot of guys at Alabama, and they got a few at Auburn, and they've got some out west in the Pac-12, all over the place. But they really are a talented team, and they've got a corner committed to Tennessee, a defensive end committed to Alabama, and they're big and strong up front. They have good skill, and then the coach's kid is a quarterback, and I think he's just a really good high school football player. So it's going to be a tall task for us, but like I told the guys, I want people, when they talk about this region, to put our name in there as well.
Absolutely.
And so the goal is to have a program where every year after year after year, we're in the upper echelon of the region. We're not there, and we're not really close, but we're on our way. I really, big time game, big time environment, and that's where we want to be.
They're also similar that they'll run some, they're going to throw some. They're not one or the other. They'll go fast like you like to. They're called Husky fast, in fact, but you can't defend one or the other. It's
right.
A balanced
it's
offense.
A lot of RPOs. They do a lot of empty stuff, and they'll run the quarterback. And anytime people run the quarterback, and that's why we run John Paul so much, is it's a mathematical advantage for the offense. And so in the same way, two very similar style. And you think of their 3 losses, they've lost to Central Phoenix, Hoover, and Thompson. We've lost to Hoover, Thompson, and Mountain Brook. So we've all had close games and been in these big games and haven't gotten over the hump against the better people. And I think it's 2 very similar, like-minded teams who both want to get up and down and full court press the whole game, and somebody standing at the end. So it'll be a fun environment, and it's why you do kind of what you do to get to these type games. And I think our kids are looking forward to the challenge, and I would imagine their kids will be up for it as well.
Yeah, it is a fun deal. You talked about meaningful football in November. We're in October, and we're playing meaningful football.
Yeah, and really this is going to be that way the next 3 weeks. I mean, we're going to have to beat Oak Mountain. We're going to have to beat Tuscaloosa County to get into the playoffs. And then ultimately, there's some tiebreaker scenarios out there where we would have to win the last game against Helena to get in as well. So talking about 4 weeks in a row that have playoff implications possibly, and then obviously you can get to the playoffs playing a team probably on the road up in Huntsville, whether it's Florence or Austin or Sparkman or somebody of that nature in the first round, and then trying to get back to one of the Birmingham teams, either Hoover or Thompson in the second round. So 6 weeks of intense football games, environments, and that's the fun part of it.
That is absolutely the fun part of it. Rebels 3-3, again heading to Hewitt Trustful Friday night. Remember, the pregame at 6:30 always. The kickoff at 7 o'clock. We will have it on the One Rebel Athletics Facebook page, the YouTube, the Vestavia Hills app. There's all kind of ways to check out the action there. Coach, we appreciate it. Good luck next week. We will see you Friday night at 6:30.
We're building on-time service to become Alabama's most trusted company. With air conditioning technicians, plumbers, electricians, and appliance repairmen you can trust. Technicians who won't try to sell you things you don't need, who are honest in figuring out the problem and repairing it, and are backed by the on-time service satisfaction guarantee. You can trust the on-time service technician to do the right thing.
Your future is here at Birmingham Fastener.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. It's a no-brainer. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you. For more information, go to choosera.org.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment, enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback, coming to Birmingham October 28th through 30th, and also next spring, April 21st through 23rd. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
Murray Bob's in the game too, Jack. Football game. Come on, Vestavia. More touchdowns!
1971. Vestavia Hills football is born as a community-focused program. This marks the 52nd season of Vestavia football, and the focus has not changed. We represent those who laid the foundation and look to honor those who helped build the program. Now, for the first time in school history, a former Rebel leads the way, embracing the tradition and toughness that is ingrained in its culture, while also bringing a modern approach to steer Vestavia Hills to the next level. The goals? Use the life lessons of football to lead these players from the field to adulthood. Show up early, get to work, and do it all again the next day. Play meaningful football in November, then December. No matter how long the journey, we will get there. This is Vestavia Hills Rebel football.